Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV, where you can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new SIDI Mag-1 boot, available at RevZilla.com. The new kid is back in town. This is the SIDI Mag-1 in my right hand, as you can see it. And the theme is flexibility, lightweight, and streamline in a brand new design for 2014. On the other side of the table, I have the classic Vortice. And really, the Vortice remains right at that same level, same price point, but it's set up a little bit different compared to what they've done with the next iteration from the Mag-1. Now, SIDI worked with Batista, Cal Crutchlow, they worked with Andrea Dovizioso, and they worked with the GP level riders and really found that where they wanted to go with this new boot outside of a dramatic restyle was they wanted to shave weight from it and make it a little bit more flexible for the rider. So each boot now is 7 ounces lighter compared to a Vortice, what we saw the pros wearing previously. They've also done, you're going to see it right away, is they've internalized your vertebrae system. So on this boot, and again, it goes with the weight savings, you get this big, rigid structure all the way outside, on the lateral side, on the medial side, going all the way up to the Achilles. What they've done on this boot is they've actually used 2 aircraft-grade carbon fiber supports running from bottom to top on both sides of the boot, but they're internal. They allow for a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more feel, and you can see the streamline of this boot. They've shaved nearly a half a pound off of each one combined, and I have the black-white version of each one. So again, from a positioning standpoint, your Vortice probably still is a bit stiffer, bit more bomb-proof, but the pros want something with a little bit more tactile response and feel. Notice how they shaved down the heel cockpit here, and you're getting halfway shock-absorbing heel counter. That on the inside is a much more low profile than what we've seen previously. Again, going with that streamlined appearance. But a lot of the rest of the boot is very similar in its function, meaning perform at the highest level, full speed for MotoGP level crashes, and catering to a pro-level rider around that $500 mark. Now, before I get into every change and every nuance, let's talk quickly about fitment. I believe this boot will be more comfortable for most riders. They've even made it more adjustable up here at the top. You're getting 15 inches of adjustable circumference around the top of the boot. That's brand new. They've also changed the way it interfaces with your calf. The footbed's going to be relatively similar, and you still get that hardcore race sole from SIDI, but you'll notice on the bottom that they've removed that piece that was replaceable, that cutaway on the dual compound sole. But again, looking at the arch and looking at the Achilles from a fit standpoint, again, removable arch support inside of the boot, but on top now you're going to get a bit more breathability. You have this area of elasticated nylon that has these big TPRs over the front of it and these TPRs along the back, again, for allowing more flexibility. Now, there's no hard start and stop from a hyperextension, hyperflexion standpoint, but you do have those carbon fiber rods that run up and down the boot for that internal rigidity. Keep that in mind, guys, and if you're concerned about fit, how it's going to rock, remember, European sizes, but again, SIDI's been playing here in the US long enough. We'll ship for free, so don't worry about it. You can always give us a shout if you're concerned about that fitment. And remember, I want to hear your gut reaction. Click here, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, RevZilla TV. Leave me your comments, your questions, and your feedback. Now let's dive back into the nitty-gritty and really work the SIDI Mag-1 against the Vortice, kind of front to back, top to bottom, and highlight really all of the changes besides just the overall style as we go. And remember, guys, the baby brother to both of these boots, which you really can't go wrong with, is going to be something like the ST, which is just a different, it's around that $400 mark, but if you're already making that investment, both these guys are just head and shoulders above that level of protection. Now, looking at the toe, you're going to instantly see dual compound with a replaceable alloy slider here on the toe box. It's nylon with fiberglass reinforcement, reinforced toe as well. You have that similarly on both the Vortice and the Mag-1. Notice a refined shift panel, dual recess stitching, you're going to see it throughout, and both of these boots are going to have microfiber. It's that Techno Micro, which is synthetic leather all the way out. When you use synthetic leather versus natural leather, you eliminate all imperfections. Keep that in mind. Now, looking at the Techno 3 magnetic system, big change here on the Mag-1 versus the Vortice. Notice this is different now. Instead of nylon monofilament, now you're using coated stainless steel, and the cool part about it is you have a release on both sides versus one-sided on these bad boys. And what happens is, it's actually the Techno 3 mag system. You see that magnet right on the bottom there? It just kind of holds in place. It doesn't go anywhere. They got rid of a lot of the fuss on this guy, and they managed to use lighter weight, smaller stainless steel to keep it in. So if I completely undid this boot, right, I'm going to snap my adjuster up. I'm going to give myself some slack. I'm completely undoing it, right, going all the way to the top of the boot. Again, allowing it to release. Remember, 15 inches of circumference up here along the top. You're going to see it doesn't go anywhere. It stays in place. You just kind of pop it in. Now, I put my foot back in there, and I'm ratcheting it down. Notice how it slides right into place. And again, that magnet kind of lines up there perfectly. And you'll see as I use the larger area of TPR across the instep here to just give you better coverage and make sure that this is going to stay hardcore and in place and hold up to abuse. Because remember, look at all the screws on the outside here. Screw, 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 screw. You're going to have a lot of places that are replaceable within this boot. And just like the Vortice, these are heirloom products. They're not meant for 1 season to track or even 3. They're meant to really hold up and allow you to make that lighter weight investment of just replacing a slider or two and keep them running for you season after season after season, whether you're racing, whether you're crashing, or whether you're just doing track days. Now notice as we move here into this hinged area, if you popped off the cap of this slider, which is a medial or it's a lateral outside slider, you'd see a screw that holds the carbon fiber struts in place that run all up and down the inside and outside. Again, big departure from the vertebrae system on the back of the SIDI. And notice we do have that heel counter on the back here, and you're going to see there's an area of reflective. Moving back up, this shin plate is completely redesigned now. Lighter weight, smaller, out of harm's way. And you'll notice if you come in here really tightly, the whole interior of this boot, the medial side, is much flatter, much lower profile, meant to create a much more seamless area of contact with the inside of your fairing or your bike in aggressive riding scenarios versus having a raised point here, a raised point here. Again, that was one of the big feedback pieces that came down from the MotoGP level. Now, you can see them both on the inside here. And remember, low profile on the inside of the heel as well, because that area is going to be stopping right there where you have the area of the counter that is rubber backed with that shock absorbing zone. Notice too, medial slider, and again, dual carbon fiber struts up from there, down from there, keeping it in place. Again, limiting range of motion, adding sturdiness, adding rigidity, but again, not getting in the way. And the nice part about this boot too is by allowing a little bit more flex, you actually give your knee a little bit more range of motion. You're actually giving yourself a little bit more room for escape if you do get into a situation where some of that torsion or twisting is going to be relayed up to your knee. Now, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna open this bad boy up from the inside out. I've done this a couple times, show you how easy that is. Just pop this off just like that. And when I start to open it up, you're gonna see that the lining looks like the classic SIDI cambrel lining, but it's actually not. It's cambrel in the toe box and around the foot, but up here towards the ankle, towards the calf, it's actually going to be perforated nylon that has a little bit more thickness to it. It's actually more comfortable. It has a much more of a 3D effect to it. So what it's going to do is promote better air circulation, promote better wicking. It's actually going to be more comfortable overall. And you can see all the way down into that bad boy how much that breaks. This is going to be very easy on and very easy off. And notice there's even a stretch panel right there for better range of motion. The other thing I want to call out is look at the back here along the top of the calf. Now on the Vortice, it goes all the way up and you have another Techno Micro adjuster or a Techno 3 adjuster right there. You have it on the side here. You've eliminated one. You're saving some weight here. But on the back, you're going to notice that they have that high point of TPU that goes up. They've given you another area of soft TPU that has some padding built into it. And what that's going to allow you to do is make sure that your calf never gets chafed or cut up, because this area of TPU is never really going to break in. And that's okay because it's meant to be supportive. So they're giving you an area of soft plastic to interfere or to interface with your leg. So again, you're not going to have any trouble there. And you can see the way that this is put together. They didn't skimp, but they shaved where they could, they eliminated excess where they could, and they simplified where they could. And for me, I'm a fan of that approach, especially if it's going to offer more tactile response to the rider. And again, being a little bit more lightweight, you would produce less fatigue over time with this boot, which would be the Mag-1, over something like the Vortice, especially if you're talking about 25 laps on the track. So remember, the Vortice and the Mag-1 are really brother and sister products. One is not better. It depends on what you're looking for. If you want ultimate bomb-proof, you go Vortice. If you want to sacrifice a hair on the stiffness and protection side, just a hair, and get a little bit more streamlined, lightweight, and a little bit more response from a boot that's going to be a little less rigid, that's where you go Mag-1. And again, we're seeing that trend at the pro level. Keep that in mind, guys. Still a ton of sizes and a ton of colors for each one. You really can't go wrong. And the baby brother for both of these guys is going to be the ST. Now, the next step in your journey is to click right here, read other rider reviews at RevZilla.com on the Mag-1. You don't have to take my word for it. Start with my information and do your own research. See what other riders are saying. Remember, we ship for free. And if you want to call and talk to a gear geek, hell, you can give us a shout and say, hey, I want to know the difference between a Mag-1, a SuperTech R, a Vortice, and whatever else comes down the pipe. We're happy to do that with you. 877-792-9455 or cs@RevZilla.com. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.